Okay, I'm live. Oh wait, let me wipe off my camera. Hello folks. Good day. Welcome. Hey y'all. I can't see who's here. Okay, we gonna talk, okay? Hey Eric. We talking. Okay, look, join in, Eric. I was thinking about you a little bit when I was like, okay, we're gonna talk, okay? I was like, I need to give thanks to people at the beginning of this video because I wouldn't even, listen, I gotta give a shout out to Eric. What's up, Eric? I gotta give a shout out to you. I gotta give a shout out to Darlene, to Sarah, who else? I gotta give a shout out to Daziona, to y'all, because y'all be encouraging me to step out of my comfort zone and to do the sharing, okay, that I be so nervous to do. So I'm shouting out y'all for giving me the courage and the encouragement to pop on here and share do some sharing today. And additionally, I want to give shout out to Aaron Winston for encouraging me to step out of my comfort zone. Shout out to Indra Yoga Institute for the teachers who have shared so much of the beautiful teachings and wisdoms with me. And I want to come on here right now today to talk about some philosophy, some stuff that I was writing about, and share that with y'all. Because, I'll be honest and transparent in the fact that I be so excited about so much, and then I don't share because I be so nervous, because I have so much respect and honor for the work that the teachings, the wisdoms that I want to share about, but I'd be nervous because I don't want to not do enough justice for to that. Okay, so I just want to give shout outs to those people, those things. Shout outs to the people in my life, the experiences that I've had, because I've learned that the things that the experiences that I've gone through in life are gifts, in the sense of I've been able to be in so many different places and spaces in life. And so then my perspective, my awareness gets to expand because of those things, right? Good or bad, without assigning any meaning or interpretation, hierarchy to them. It just is what it is, okay? So I'm excited. I was writing last night, y'all, in my journal. I was writing, okay, about some stuff that I want to share with y'all, and so I put it on my computer so it's not so messy. All right, so I'm just gonna jump right in. All right, so I was thinking about Aparigraha, one of the yamas in yoga, and I was thinking about Aparigraha, contentment, and meditation. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to step into right now, is Aparigraha, the practice of letting go, one of the yamas in yoga. And so I wrote in my journal, I was writing about Aparigraha, in the practice of letting go, of non-clinging, non-withholding. Let me see. Let me put my phone on. Okay, non-clinging, non-withholding. And I was thinking about it in the sense, because I was thinking about a lot, right? My 300-hour yoga training ended, in quote unquote ended. It's never ended, right? But it was we had our graduation in March. And then I spent the last couple of weeks going back and looking at the videos, and I was like, man, there's so many things that I need to hold on to from all of these teachings. I need to take all the notes. I need to do all of the writing. I need to, make sure that I have everything on point. You know what I mean? And then I was like, what am I holding on to? Why am I holding on to this? Where is the trust and the wisdom? Where is the trust in the intuition? Where is the intuitive spirit in that, if I'm trying to hold on to those things? Okay, so I said, you know what, I'm gonna just let it go, and I'm just gonna let it out. I'm gonna trust, just like what my teachers taught me in my training. I'm going to trust that whatever is necessary and needed, it will come back to me when it's necessary, when the time is right, okay? So in that moment, I was like, oh my God, there's a Aparigraha, right? It's letting go. It's having a moment. And it's just enjoying the moment that you're in that moment. It's being okay with not necessarily having a picture or a video or having taken all the notes, because I didn't take the notes in training like I should have, right? And here's the thing that I keep coming back to. I didn't take all the notes. I was there. I was present in the moment. I was listening and I was absorbing. So all of the osmosis was happening, right? I didn't take the notes. But still, here I am having a moment where the words, the language, the understandings are coming back to me. And I'm probably going to cry while I'm doing this video, because crying tears of just amazement, tears of reverence, tears of awe, tears of gratitude, because of how beautiful, you know, it all is, right? Like, I was like, wow, like I'm understanding Kleysha's, right? I'm understanding the Panchamaya model, the Panchamaya teachings, right? My teacher taught me these things back in the beginning of the year. And she said, I remember when we were in the training, we were having such a linear mind. Our minds were so limited and linear in the understandings that we could not even see the other ways that we could look at the situations, the other ways that we could look at the lessons, the other ways that we could look at an asana practice. Okay, so she really stretched our minds to open them to being able to understand more than the limited possibilities that are just in front of us. Okay, so when we think about Aparigraha, letting go, okay, it means you're just being okay with that moment, right? And I'm going to tell you why this is necessary for meditation, which is necessary for, yes, the expansiveness. Yes, thank you. Hey, y'all. Welcome, everybody. Aparigraha is necessary in order to practice meditation. And in order to practice meditation, Aparigraha in meditation is what's going to bring you to contentment, Santosha. Okay, so stay with me. I'm going to get there. Okay, so I wrote down, I said, it's okay, being okay with just being in that moment, not having a picture or a video, not holding on to any emotions such as anger or joy or happiness, not holding on to any of that, right? Not trying to keep it alive, and not trying to cling to whatever the emotion is that it brings. So when we think about the power of letting go, we're thinking about freedom, and we're also thinking about freedom from manipulation, right? Because if you think about being present in the moment, in this moment, right? Not the next moment, not the moment that happened before, but this moment. You can have a moment like, okay, let's say you had a first kiss, right? And then you're going to have your second kiss, and you could be holding on to the whatever that first kiss was like, and that could be like, I want my second kiss to be just like that. You know, you're not being free. You're not being free in that moment, because you're holding on to this old emotion, this old feeling, that old moment. It's not there anymore. This is here in front of you. This is the moment that you're stepping into, and let that be whatever it is, right? And then also thinking about, like, how can I not be so focused on what's coming, the future, that I'm not present in this moment? How can I just let go of the manipulation? I don't want to manipulate making myself feel the way that I felt then. I don't want to manipulate the moment to try to make something happen then that's not happening yet. You know what I mean? Like, that's the letting go, okay? It's just being okay with not remembering properly, right? Whatever that means. Being okay with not, with forgetting, right? Like, okay, I want to remember all of these things because everything is just coming to me. I got to let it go. My teacher used to always say to us, she would say at the end of our classes, now let it all go. Let it go. Let it go. so that whatever arrives will arrive. And trust in your intuitive spirit and nature. Trust that whatever is necessary, what's meant to stay, will stay. But everything is already there because you were here. Like, it was already there. Our mind, we only use such a small portion of our minds, right? At this moment, right? But everything is already there, okay? I was thinking about this, and I'll come back to it later, but it's already there. So let it go and trust that it'll arise when it's necessary, as long as you remain open to it arising, okay? So being okay with being done for now, right? I was thinking about, like, like, I have all of these thoughts, and I'm like, oh, but I got to make sure that I get right about everything. I have to make sure that thank you, Eric. I got to make sure that I am well researched on any topic before I speak on it, because I'm not an expert. Okay, and I put a video on YouTube about 2 days ago about perfectionism. That's what that is. It's perfectionism when you're not doing anything. I made a whole little tree on YouTube, on my YouTube channel, about perfectionism and procrastination, and how one of them births the other, but they both will end you up in a big old zero. Okay? Yes, that's why I don't need the notes, right? Okay. So being okay with being done for now. What am I talking about, y'all? I'm talking about an abundant mindset. I'm talking about the mindset of abundance, the mindset of infinite. I was on the phone with my friend right before I got on here. I was on the phone. I was talking to Jermaine, and we were talking about just that, being okay with being done for now, with knowing that there's always room for more conversations, for more ideas, for more growth, for more expansiveness, for more. You don't have to talk about a topic or a discussion just once and then be done with it. That's a scarcity mindset. Okay? When you want to exercise everything to completion, and I talked about this on my YouTube video. But that's coming from a scarcity mindset, which is coming from a survival mechanism, right? Which is a coping mechanism. It leads back that way, right? But you're not going over there. You're going this way. Okay? So just be okay with being done for now, because you can come back anytime. You can revisit anytime that you want to. There's no rules or limitations. The only limitations that are placed upon you are put on you by humans, because the universe, let me tell you, there are no limitations in the universe, okay? So, so Aparigraha, letting go, being all right with letting go. So let me tell you why this is necessary in meditation. Because in meditation, when you're sitting in meditation, and we've been there, right? You sit down, you're like, okay, I'm gonna give my downloads or whatever. I don't know. You'd be like, I'm gonna sit in my meditative seat. Close your eyes, you start your breath, and then thoughts come in. The lists start turning, the rememberings. Oh, I got to do this, right? And you have to acknowledge that and let it go. Aparigraha, okay? You got to let it go. Why do you have to let it go in order to find your way into meditation? Well, I mean, yeah, you got to let it go in order to get into meditation. Why and how? What does that lead to? It leads to contentment, Santosha, okay? That brings Santosha. Just being okay, just letting it go and just being in the moment. That is where Santosha, contentment, arrives. That is you cultivating, you clearing the space. You're letting it go. You are clearing the space for contentment, for Santosha. Okay? Hey, y'all. And what do I mean by that? I mean, you're welcoming each new moment, each new experience for exactly what it is in that exact moment, okay? Everything, right? And I already talked about that. Not wanting to control by expecting the same or the similar experience, not being manipulative, not trying to force things to be the way that you want them to be because this will spark a certain emotion. No, let it go. And let whatever arrive. There's room for all of it, okay? Let's see here. Santosha is welcoming, contentment, surprise at what each individual moment brings. Santosha is a gift. Okay? Contentment is a gift. And Santosha creates space for more gifts. It creates space for you to have awe and reverence and amazement at every single moment as it's new. Because that's presence. That's being present in the moment, okay? And so you're in a position to receive and welcome whatever that might be for you, whether it be opportunities, whether it be knowledge, whether it be relationships, whether it be finances increase, whether it be positions or titles or the house or whatever, right? The feeling, whatever it is, you're creating the space for it just by being present and being content with whatever it is, whatever it is. So Aparigraha creates space for Santosha. Okay? And so then I was thinking to myself like that, wow, this is the yama, right? So you have your yamas in yoga, ahimsa, satya, I don't know, but I can't think of them off the top of my head, but you have your yamas in yoga. Your yamas in yoga are paths to freedom. The freedom of feeling like a burden, freedom of feeling undeserving, freedom of not feeling good enough, freedom of the fear of death, the Kleysha, I wrote that down. Kleshas are afflictions of the mind and the body, Kleshas, okay? And so then I was like, oh my God, Kleshas, okay? Freedom. So Aparigraha creates room for Santosha, which means that yama is a path to freedom, which means that Aparigraha is clearing the afflictions, okay? You're clearing those afflictions, those fears. You have ignorance, ego, selfishness, attachment, aversion, and fear. And by letting go, you're clearing those things, right? That's why you practice the yamas, in order to clear the kleshas. All right, so then I was like, you let it all go. Aparigraha, bag lady. Okay, come through, bag lady. Okay, bag lady, you gonna hurt your back dragging all them bags like that. Let them bags go. Pack light. Pack light, bag lady. Let them bags go. Okay? Don't be carrying all the bags. Let it go, bag lady. Aparigraha. Be okay with being done for now. Be okay with whatever the moment brings. Okay? And so then, let's see here. I was thinking about something else. I was thinking about shifting. Getting into other parts of the body. Yeah, So I was thinking about getting into other parts of the body. At this point, I don't even know why I thought this, why I started thinking about it. But I was thinking about how sometimes when you're finding your way into meditation, you're thinking about it as like dropping a layer in order to sink into, to free yourself of all of the layers. But for me, for whatever reason, that thought does not make me feel safe. So then I was thinking to myself, well, what if I consider it shifting into another layer instead of dropping layers, right? And we're talking about meditating, okay? And so then I was like, well, maybe it's like getting into another part of the body, because then and when you're shifting into other parts of the body or other parts of the awareness, I felt safer there, because I was like, well, because then maybe I can trust and know that intuitively I'm gonna make sure that the other parts are taken care of, right? Like that felt safer to me, shifting layers and being like, okay, I'm gonna put you to sleep this layer, you go night night, I'm gonna move over here, you're still safe while I'm tending to this area. Okay, that felt a little bit safer for me. I realized that was Parentified Child trauma speaking for the first time. I was like, oh my God. So then I wrote, is that Parentified Child trauma speaking? Oh, hey girl, I'm just now meeting you. I mean, you already existed, you were already there, you were already in here the whole time, right? In the subconscious. But today, you just now today stepped into the subconscious. Once I went on ahead and put that part night night, you come over here revealing yourself, like in your true form, not standing behind other forms. behind other coping mechanisms, not standing behind those things, right? Which is another layer, okay? Small circle, in a bigger circle, in a bigger circle, in a bigger circle. Those are our traumas and our coping mechanisms, right? Traumas, the coping mechanisms just layer on top of the traumas, right? And so, anywho, I don't know why I went down this path of thinking, but I'm just going to share it with you all. So then when I was thinking about the parentified child, being a parentified child, you would describe that as a young person, a kid who had adult-like responsibilities that was not norm for that culture that they living in, okay? So, for me, like, well, I was a teenage mom, right? That was one thing. And then also because of the domestic violence that we experienced, that my mom, my sister, that we experienced in my younger life, there were more responsibilities as we were, having lots of other instabilities as a result of the domestic violence, right? So, I was like, wow, parentified child, how is she showing up in here? What is she hiding behind? She's hiding behind having all the answers, that perfectionist. She's hiding behind independence, hyper independence, okay? She's hiding behind being extreme, 0 or 100, okay? She's hiding behind control, need for control, right? She's hiding behind not asking for help, because who could she ask for help back then when she had to have all the answers, right? She's hiding behind not showing unsure emotions, right? Because she didn't want to be, because of the fear of being a sheep or eaten by a wolf, or if we're going to bring in imposter syndrome, then we could say for fear of being a wolf that felt like a sheep that was sniffed out by the other wolves as not being a true wolf, okay? And that shows up back when did that first show up? Maybe when I was a little girl, right? And when people made fun of me because of how I talked. Oh, you talk like a white girl, okay? I'm black, but I'm not black enough, but I'm definitely not white, right? That's when that imposter syndrome first showed up here, right? That's when that first showed up. Oh, well, who am I? What am I? They don't think I'm black. They don't think I'm black. I'm definitely not white. It's about to rain, so I'm gonna have to keep going because it's about to rain on my computer. So then I was like, thinking about the extremes, like with the Aparigraha, like, don't let go yourself to death, right? Like, don't be like, okay, no, since I'm being in the moment, I'm not going to study for my test. I'm going to be in college and not think about my future. Don't do that, okay? Like, we're not talking about extremes. We're talking about balance here, okay? Yin and the yang, balance. So I laughed because I was like, don't aparigraha yourself to death. Don't let go yourself to death, right? Because you could be like, well, I don't have to think about the future. I don't have to eat. Next thing you know, you a corpse floating in the lake. I don't know. Okay, listen, we're not gonna go to the extremes. And then okay. Then I wrote this down. This is really good. I think I'm almost done. This part blew my mind. This is just all happening in here. Okay, this is all just happening in here last night. Thank you for the downloads. So there was this in one of my classes. We were talking about like toe exercises, right? We were talking about toe exercise. We were doing toe Apana Kriyas in the feet, okay? And so in this Kriya, you do your toes, and so you move each of your toes individually, right? You're like, okay, move your pinky, your index, and then you lift them all up, okay? And so I was like, I can't do that. And I tried teaching this too. And so just like your fingers, thumb can come down, you can do that with your toes. And so like last night I was trying that again because I just was obsessed with this. And I was like, oh my God. I said, the 5 toes, I wrote this down, I said the body and the flexibility, it already exists. The toes are already there. The flexibility, it's already there. Wherever the joints can bend, it is already there. But the limitation is in the mind. The flexibility is there. We try to do the splits. We're training. We try to do, I don't know, people want to touch their toes. You can already touch your toes, but you have to train in the mind in order to free your mind little by little, layer by layer, into allowing that flexibility, that space. You're cultivating the space. Oh boy, it's raining. Okay, so so I said and the thing is before you ever bend over to touch your toes, you already did it before you with your mind, before you did it with your body. Okay, this right here, me wanting to make these toes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just by practicing and in my mind willing my toes to move, yes, but I was like, I did it already. I just didn't see my toes moving. But because I sat there in practice, I was doing it. I couldn't see it happening. I can't see it happening. But it's happening internally. So I was like, oh my gosh. So then it goes into how everything starts with a thought, right? My child's father, he used to say that to me years ago all the time. He always says, it all starts with a thought. It all starts with a thought. The actual thing is happening because it starts with a thought, which is where it all comes from, okay? And if you think it, then it exists, okay? You birthed it already with your thoughts. What the physical body does with the thought is the expression of the openness of and awareness of the mind. But because you have the thought, it exists. Listen. Hold up. Listen. There's nothing that you can come up with in your mind that cannot physically exist in front of you. The only difference in translating it from the mind to the physical in front of you is the practice. Okay? It's the practice. It's the training. All right? When engineers are engineering stuff, they are training to take this to this. All right? When you're figuring out how to touch your toes, you're training. When your baby is learning how to wave, that's the mind training. But only when the mind expands enough to allow your consciousness to register it that way can it happen. It can happen because it was already there. The ability to flex my toes is already there. But where is my mind with it? How much practice have I given in that? How much study have I done? How much training, right? The training trains the mind to create more possibilities to exist. That's why I'm here right now talking to y'all. That's why I'm here talking to y'all right now. Because in order for me to get better, in order for me to get more experience and practice at sharing these teachings, these learnings, these understandings, these wisdoms that I hold such high regard and respect for, I gotta practice, right? I gotta practice. That's why I'm here. I'm practicing, all right? And I'm sharing. So it's like I'm doing what was given to me as an offering, not for me to hold to myself, but for me to share. And I'm practicing, all right? I'm training. The more the practice, well, let's talk about neural pathways. The more the practice, the more that your brain travels to and from this particular route, creating this neural pathway in the mind, the more you take that journey back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Oh, I was trying to grab some grass. The more you take that journey, a small, thin blade of grass can turn into, the thinnest tree, okay? Let's talk about it as a tree. The baby tree can turn into the biggest tree in the forest, the most amazing tree in the forest, because of the travel, the strengthening, right? The tree's branch, the tree trunk, it gets more layers. Oh Lord, it's all connected. It's all connected, y'all. So the more we practice, the more that thread, that sutra gets strengthened. All right? And that creates a stronger samskara, an imprint. It creates a deeper, stronger imprint in the body and in the mind. That the deeper the layers, the deeper that those layers go into the tissues, right? Our brains get better, whatever we're doing with all the time, good or bad. And that's why we want to practice not gossiping, not eating poorly, being mindful of our thoughts, right? We want to practice those things because the more negative or the more pollutants that we install into our system downloads into the tissues. When they say issues in the tissues, okay? Because it goes deep like that, okay? And that's when I wrote that down. I said, too many negative imprints in abundance creates issues in the tissues, all right? Because we literally make ourselves sick. We do that. We do it. And maybe we don't even know it, okay? But when we're reinforcing those threads and deepening those samskaras, that's how we get into them tissues and dig deep, okay? So listen. I wrote down, I said, release and relearn to heal. Is there even a difference in the words there? Is releasing and relearning, are those any different in this context? I don't think so. I don't think so, but maybe you do. I don't. Then I said, training the mind to let go of the issues, freeing them from your tissues, okay? Freeing, that's healing, okay? That's freedom. And then I said, my freedom is buried deep at the roots of these issues, right? At the roots of these issues. So I'm going to give you a little visual story. Close your eyes if you want to listen. I said, swimming deep beneath the surface in the soils to unhinge the hurt from the root. Because that's a weed, right? Them negative imprints are weeds, you know, that then rooted into your beautiful ecosystem. Okay, and weeds are not bad except for when they take over somewhere where they don't belong, right? Like dandelions are considered weeds, but dandelions are amazing. They're not good for some ecosystems, you know, like they take over and populate. Mint, right? Can be a weed if you don't want it growing in your garden. Okay, so I wrote swimming deep beneath the surface in the soils to unhinge the root from its weed, the root, because the root is stealing the nutrients from my soil, my earth system, and crowding out all of my nutrients, my fruit-bearing fruits, flowers, qualities, the things that I planted on purpose, right? The things that I planted, the things that I received as gifts or wisdom's knowledge imparted upon me, or things that I welcomed into my ecosystem, such as a floating, traveling seed from another patch of seeds, landscape or region, something that I just happened to come across by chance, you know how when you randomly just talk to a person in the parking lot, like, oh my gosh, this was an amazing experience. I did not know. That's a traveling, wandering seed that you just stumbled across, okay? And so then that can create a new unique mix, a new genome trail, okay? New genome trait. Community influence, leadership, your mentors, your coaches, those are all like seeds that were planted into your ecosystem, yeah? Nuggets, gems that was dropped, something that just sparked a peak of curiosity. Anywho, the point is that those things, they already exist. They're already out here existing in the whole, I mean, it's just, will they make their way to you? Can they make their way to you? They can. Can you find your way to them? You can. Okay? But the thing is have you given those seeds the proper sunlight, the proper nutrition, the proper water, the proper air quality that it needs in order to grow and survive and thrive? The study The practice, the consistency to grow it. Have you done that? If you haven't, then you can, okay? And so then that's when I was like, wow, that's when I realized that's like the Panchamaya model. The symbolism, the options, the translations for the purpose. And I was like, man, my mind had to expand in order to even be able to see that as an asana, as a yoga practice, right? The weeds, if they're in abundance of negative imprints, they turn up as coping mechanisms, which are trauma responses. And trauma responses are survival rooted. They have roots in survival. That's the end of my notes that I wrote about last night. Let me see. Was there anything else I wanted to talk about? I'm getting cold out here. The sun done went down. I think I'm gonna be done for now. I don't even know. Let's see if I finished that thought. But most important takeaways, if I'll give you any, will be this. Have your moments, let them go. Aparigraha. Why? Because that brings you contentment, Santosha. It brings you joy, reverence, amazement, wonder, wowing. Yeah? It creates that space. Letting go creates space for contentment. Practicing the yamas in yoga are paths to freedom. Think about your coping mechanisms. Let me close my computer because it's raining. And I'm going to let go at this moment. That's it, y'all. I'm done. I'm finna go to the car because it's raining. I ain't got insurance on my new phone yet. No, I'm just kidding. I'm at BB Clark. Oh, it's hell. Oh my God. Okay. Well, listen. Thanks you for everyone for tuning in, being present in the moment, taking away whatever served you, and letting go of what didn't serve you. Letting go of whatever expectations you had. All right? Maybe I'll do this again. But I'm done for now. Bye.